This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome, everyone. We're going to call the meeting to order. At this time, I'm going to ask council if they have any additions this evening. Hearing none, I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion moved.
Okay, do we have a seconder?
Seconded.
Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded. The agenda is approved. We have no gallery presentations this evening, so we'll move on to acknowledgements. Just first and foremost, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to council, to staff, and to all members of the gallery and citizens of the town of Port Hawkesbury. And also, I would like to congratulate Seasonal Services. They did a great job on Sunday, dropping off much needed grocery help to 155 households in the town of Port Hawkesbury.
Mr. Your Worship.
Yeah.
I think we might be on mute here, are we?
No,
We're good?
no, we're okay. You
Perfect.
might need to share your screen though, Terry.
It's the mic over here on Puttersby Council.
Yeah, I think that's just for this one.
Thank you.
I guess I would ask council if they have any other acknowledgements they would like to make this evening. Okay, we'll move on then to approval of council minutes. I will ask at this time for the minutes of November 8th, 2022, if there are any errors or omissions. Hearing none, I would ask, is there any business arising from the minutes? Okay, hearing none at this time, council committee reports. So I'll hand things over to Terry for the committee of the whole report.
Yes, Your Worship. Just need 1 minute here.
No problem.
There we go.
You're going too fast. That's good stuff, Candy. I like that.
I already had too much candy.
Well, I open this one. We don't have to get it done.
Do I look like I need more chocolate?
Yeah, you're good.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so we'll flip forward to the committee of the whole reports. So I'll hand things over to you, Terry.
Thank you, Your Worship. So there's 2 items coming from the November Committee of Whole. First is with respect to the Christmas holiday schedule as presented on the screen, and we'd ask for consideration coming from that meeting that the town of Port Hawkesbury approved the 2022 holiday schedule as presented at Committee of Whole held on November 15th, 2022.
Okay, thank you, Terry. What is the wishes of council?
Move. Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Okay, approved. And there's one other item?
Yes, as well from that meeting, there was a motion for being asked to be brought forward for consideration tonight. And that's that the town of Port Hawkesbury sent a letter to the local gas stations asking for accommodation for gas service. So that's not self-service, but someone to be able to pump gas for individuals to come to the station. That letter was prepared. It was sent out to councilors. It was approved by councilors and forwarded to our 2 gas stations. So this motion is just
to ratify.
in consideration of
Perfect.
catching up with that motion.
Thank you. We have a mover. Do we have a seconder?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Okay, the motion is approved. Any other reports, Terry?
There's no other reports from Committee of Whole.
Thank you. So at this time, I would ask council if there are any errors or omissions in our committee of the whole minutes, November 15th, 2022. And if there are none, a motion to approve those minutes.
Your Worship, I would just mention that I think Councillor Coyne needs to be added to the list of those present.
Okay, so we'll make note of that one amendment that will be needed. Any other errors or omissions? Okay, with that one fix, I would ask council for a motion to approve those minutes.
So move.
Okay, do we have a seconder?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Okay, the committee of the whole minutes are approved. Any business arising from our committee of the whole minutes?
Just one item,
Sure.
Your Worship, but it may be something that I just haven't seen in emails, but under other business, you had made reference to the Basic Income Now Atlantic Canada meeting that was held November 9th, and you'd indicated you were going to see if there was recording of the session.
Yeah, I'll have to follow up on that.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Any other business arising? Okay, we'll move on to council reports on assigned committees. And just, I guess, to premise this, I know myself, a lot of our meetings scheduled for December were pushed to the new year. And some of our local committees were also awaiting new membership as per our advertisement. So I really don't have anything to report, but the bulk of my report, if any, will be in our next committee of the whole. So at this time, I would ask council if they have any reports that they would like to offer up at this time.
Sure, Your Worship.
Okay.
November 24th, I attended the Cape Breton South Recruiting for Health meeting. December 2nd, we had our SAT monthly board meeting. On December 5th, we had a SAT Human Resources Committee meeting. December 8th, we had the Eastern Counties Regional Library Board meeting. I should just mention that Shirley McNamara, who served on the Eastern Counties Regional Library for, I believe, like 30 years and has been our chair for, I just cannot recall how long, but been the chair since I joined the committee just about 3 years ago. But she's retired from the committee, and I think she really needs to be congratulated and recognized for all the years that she's contributed not just to the Eastern County Regional Library, but many other organizations as well. So anyhow, I just want to make that mention. And in terms of our SAT monthly board meeting, Claude Poirier, our second representative for Inverness County, joined us at that September 2nd meeting. And not that they're committee meetings, but myself, the deputy mayor, we had the opportunity to go to Truro November 25th to attend the workshop, a Rules of Order and Meeting Process workshop. And then last week, on Wednesday the 14th, we attended this community consultation session here with New Dawn around the housing project that they're working on. So that's what I'd like to report.
Thank you. So we'll go over to Deputy Mayor McDougall.
I'm just wondering if a motion to send a letter of congratulations to Shirley McNamara is in order, Your Worship.
Sure,
I'd like to move that.
absolutely. So we have a motion that has been moved. Do we have a seconder?
Seconded.
Okay, any discussion on the motion?
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, contrary minded? Okay, the motion is approved. Over to you, Deputy.
Thank you, through you, Your Worship. I have a couple here also, like Councillor McCrory said, November 25th, we had a Rules of Order meeting process workshop in Truro. December 2nd, Councillor McIver and myself sat in on the minister, the health minister, with the community consultation for the health in the situation in the Strait area. And I sat in on a public meeting, the provincial public meeting for the police at the Maritime Inn on December 9th. And we had a Wall of Fame meeting on November 23rd that we sat in on. And as Councillor McCrory just said, I would also like to recognize a member that sat on our committee for many, many years who put in his resignation, Mr. Roy Sturmey. And I also would move that a letter be sent to Mr. Sturmey on behalf of the town. Since the town is the board of directors for the Wall of Fame, I would like to make that motion to send Mr. Sturmey a letter. I'll second that.
Fantastic.
And that's my report, Your Worship.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. So we do have a motion that's been presented by the Deputy Mayor, that's been seconded by Councillor O'Coin. Any discussion on the motion for a letter of congratulations and thanks to Roy Sturmey? Question has been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Okay, the motion is approved. So Councillor O'Coin, do you have any reports?
November 16th, myself and yourself were here in Canada ribbon cutting. November 30th, Councillor McIver and I had Eastern District Planning Commission meeting. And December 14th, the New Dawn public consultation.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Councillor McIver?
Pretty well
It's all been said.
Yeah.
There's an advantage to going last.
It is.
You just have to say ditto.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Councillor. Council reports. We'll now move over to CAO reports. I'll hand things over to Terry Doyle for those reports.
Thank you, Your Worship. So this is a combined committee and combined public and committee of full meetings. I typically run through the department reports personally, and so that's what we'll do tonight. So you received the report, so I won't go through in detail with any of them. We ask that you please reach out and contact department heads if you need any kind of update on that. Just a couple of highlights. Recreation, Tourism, Culture was Michelle Farrell, our director. Michelle has provided a report. Just a lot of things happened over the last month since our last meeting. And one of the highlights really being this is a sensory-friendly Santa, really leading the way on the stuff with these types of events and very much with a focus on inclusion and accessibility. So just a wonderful thing that we're proud of as well. Christmas parade was a huge success. Staff has received many compliments on that. So my hats off to Corinne Gillis who led this event, but with of course the director Michelle and all of our staff get involved in this event and really make it happen. So hats off to everyone here. Yeah, some pictures of the Santa Claus parade, just tons of floats and lots of accolades on that. 3 concerts over in December. This one's the Barry McNeil's, but 3 concerts and fairly well attended. So active Civic Center, very active Syriac Auditorium this year. Just a little bit about first night celebration. So New Year's Eve. This is an event sponsored by us, paid for us. That's with free admission for children up to 12 years old, but we have lots of seniors and lots of people in our community and our surrounding communities come out to this. Free skate, family video skate, cookie decorating, brochure, bouncy house, cookie decorating, snacks, dance party, Scotty O, and the New Year's countdown. So we do a countdown outside, and then we have the fire department have agreed to set off fireworks at the countdown at 5:35. I will say that we and budgeted this year was fireworks for New Year's Eve. We had a request in July there's one certified pyrotechnic organization within Atlantic Canada. And we applied for it in July, and they tell us that they're booked years in advance. So New Year's Eve is just a time they're not even performing in Atlantic Canada. They're not doing that in Atlantic Canada. They have one show in Nunavut, I think, and one show down in the eastern United States. So they're very much in demand, but especially at that time. So we can certainly have more discussions on how that could work in the future, or even if you want to do it sometime else during the winter, or you want to redistribute that money into another fund that would be that you're choosing.
Please thank Donald McDonald, our fire chief in the fire department, for at least creating an opportunity for some fireworks, for that evening. I think that's great.
Yeah, I'll certainly do that. We've got such tremendous support from the fire
That's
hall.
fantastic.
And the members of the fire hall in almost everything that we do, and they're a big part of the New Year's Eve celebration, and it's just one of the things. But yeah, no, can't say enough about the good things that they do in this community.
Thank you.
So Finance Department, Erin has sent her report on, and there's lots of stuff there, and discussions that come up on a regular basis, including this evening. Engineering and Public Works, again, kind of work, and I'm going to skip through this stuff, but again, lots of comments on this stuff. Work on the waterfront has gotten very, very positive comments. Road work, we've experienced a
Just
ton
a question,
of
Terry,
water
before
breaks.
you go
Yep,
fast, you're going-
yep.
Getting up in the air here, you're going fast and fast tonight. On the waterfront, I don't know about any of the other councilors, but I've been getting a lot of concerns about the walkway, and there's no separation from the road to the walkway down there. Is there any thoughts of that, Jay or Gordy? Or
So there's the same amount of separation. There's actually a little bit more than there was before.
but there's no protection if somebody drove,
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah. So we had some rocks there that council wanted to get rid of and put grass in.
I understand.
So it's not finished yet, because the landscaping isn't, so there's some landscaping features, but it's gonna be primarily grass. But yeah, that's,
I'm just concerned about somebody driving with some children or something walking there, and if something happens, if somebody just loses the train of thought, and, I mean, you can do that anywhere, I suppose, but
Yeah.
it's a designated walking trail, so just some protection might be in order.
yes, so we'll certainly have a look at that. The one thing the few things that we're putting in place that you aren't seeing here is, we're formally designating that as a 30-kilometer speed zone. So that was really, we had some speed bumps and some other infractions there. We're indicating that the road is narrowed. So there's signage that we're putting up to help that out, but there are things that are going to go in, the new light standards, and we will look at that barrier between the existing roadway and the walkway, and the new walkway as well. I was just saying about water breaks, there's been a number of them this year. We've been very fortunate to have our crew up and ready and out and working with less equipment than they normally have, and so on. The facilities, the Gordy tells me that the Zamboni is on its way, so it's left the factory and is on its way to Fredericton. So it goes to Fredericton, and then they have to go through a process of ensuring compliance with Canadian standards and getting it ready for our ice. So all we know now is it's on its way. Nobody is getting their Zambonis right now, so it's just like it's like vehicles. They've been really, that whole manufacturing process has slowed down significantly, so we're very fortunate to have it, and hopefully it'll arrive just in time.
Take the ice out.
Pardon me?
Take the ice out.
Food bank, just some photos of the food bank there. Very, very proud of what's going on there. It's huge improvement to that building, and so worthwhile. Our EV station is in place.
I parked there tonight.
There's no one parked there tonight.
I did.
And so we do have detailed commissioning that has to occur to it yet. And we have a vehicle, actually, Bill Turner, as an electric vehicle, is taking it over here. And we're going to hook that up and show that it works. Surplus equipment, this has been brought up and it's on the agenda again. So working on this for a while, just putting a form of tender in place. And that's been out. So for Parks and Recreation equipment and for equipment from Public Works that was previously advertised and not sold. That's closing January 5th. And so those are the reports from
Thank you, Terry.
Purpose.
Any questions at this time for Terry?
Just one, Your Worship.
Sure, go ahead.
Through you, Your
Deputy
Worship. I think I mentioned this before, Jay, and just a follow-up, maybe the sidewalk or the rail over by the yield sign coming on to Reeve Street. I mentioned it before, that somebody was going to take a look at that or call somebody. Was there any action taken on that?
Yeah, I can speak to that. So, the day after the meeting, I did forward that on to Nova Scotia Public Works. I didn't get a response on a work plan to correct that. I know it hasn't been corrected yet. I did get an acknowledgement from the operations center with the province that they didn't receive the request. Usually what happens is they push those on to the area supervisors. I can follow up on that and pass along any feedback to
Sure,
the council.
that's great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on. There are no correspondence to report. No
There's actually,
Oh,
Your Worship,
we do
sorry,
have one.
yeah, there's
My
one
apologies.
item of correspondence this evening, and that's with respect to the application to confirm the number of councillors. Just to say that the application has been received, and they will be in contact with us shortly to canvass us with respect to a UARB public hearing on this.
Perfect, thank you, Terry. Any questions with regard to that? You good? Okay, proclamations. Okay, we'll move on then to other business. Okay, our first item is council expenses.
Yes, Your Worship. So there's been a revision to the August councillors and CEO expenditures. So there was a bill that we just received for a hotel that changed the council expenditures during the month of August. So expenses for the month of August are now at $2,916.
So that'll be amended to the online.
Yeah, so that'll be replaced. So the August, the August expense table will be replaced with the updated and amended table.
Perfect, thank you.
This is the November expenses. November was a busy month. Councillors talked about some professional development that they were able to take advantage of in Truro. There was an NSFM conference that was attended by myself and Mayor and Councillor O'Coin. And so a number of things happened in November. So our expenses are up a little bit there at $6,839.
Okay, thank you. And of course, this is all available online as well.
This will be posted this evening after it's been received by council.
Okay, thank you, Terry. January meeting dates. Our next item. So for January, we're going to be looking at a joint council meeting and committee of the whole for January 19th. Council is, or 17th, my bad. Is council all okay with that?
Your Worship, you did call me today and
Yeah.
I was in a fog.
Okay. You're having a sober second thought, Brian?
No, I'm just saying, I'm going on a little trip and I think I'm leaving on the 17th. So
Okay.
going to Vegas for
Okay,
a trip, but I may be here. I think it might be the 18th and I might go after the meeting, but I think we had a hotel one for the 17th. But
Sounds-
if not, you can still have the meeting without me.
sure, absolutely. I think we'll have a forum.
Yeah, you'll have a call.
And we'll be a little
I
jealous
just,
that you're going.
But I did, because you did call today and I did agree.
Okay. No, that's great. That's just for council's information.
Yeah.
Okay, council advisory committees, citizen appointments. So in your package was a list of citizen appointments, and I would ask, and there are some pending that we will deal with on an as-needed basis. But for the purposes of this evening, I would ask council to approve the committee appointments that we have currently.
So, Your Worship, list that's available here, unless I'm missing it. Yeah, Festival Street.
It's unique.
Okay. Do we have any, was that part of the advertised local committees? I don't think it was advertised. It's not.
So from our perspective, from what we.
Yeah, it's not our local
Festival of
committee,
Strait
it's
is not a town
independent.
committee, it's a community committee.
Yeah.
Where we appoint, we've appointed staff and we've appointed councilors, but it's a community
Yeah,
run
it's
committee.
not our,
So we wouldn't, we
Right.
don't really have authority to approve their committee.
yeah,
A
it's a
community.
registered
Yep.
society.
But I guess going forward, Your Worship, through you,
Yeah.
if the committee wanted to do that, could we
On their behalf,
on
sure.
their behalf announce for
Absolutely. in the future.
volunteers for that committee?
Absolutely in the future, if they wanted us to include them in our next round of.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. We just, I guess,
Is there
whoever the
more
chair is,
people
we just like
still
an
interested?
email
Sure, yeah.
confirmation that they would
That's
like
right.
us to do that.
No, that's great.
Any other questions before
Yeah,
motions
so
introduced?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Councillor Coyne.
I thought when we discussed this originally, we were gonna address this in the new year. And I'm going through this list and I see that there's responses still waiting, so should we maybe put this on hold until the new year?
That's completely up to council. We can definitely, I guess my thoughts were if we were to approve the ones that we have, it wouldn't delay making meeting dates and stuff for January, just to kind of belabor that. But if council feels more comfortable having this move to the January 17th, with that, I'm fine with that. Whatever your preference is.
I would support Councillor Coyne's.
Sure, so we
Position,
will
there's some
table this item till
stuff there, I know.
January 17th, and then hopefully the unknowns will be known by then. So we'll move on to surplus equipment. Councillor Coyne, that's your
Thank
your
you.
item?
Thank you. So I did speak with Kerry earlier and asked him to get a list together, and he was able to do that and get it out. And I thank him for that. It's good to see we're getting some interest anyway from what I hear for some of our equipment anyway. So again, thank you for putting that on there.
So that's been fully addressed at this point? Any other,
For me, yeah.
any other questions on this item?
No.
Or comments?
Just one, Your
Yeah,
Worship.
sure, go ahead, Councillor.
Did the horse barn, do they have interest in the old tractor? Did they take it, or is it still hanging around?
I would defer to Gordy on it.
I can respond to that. They still have interest. It's still in our shed. They haven't taken use of it yet because they only have one, they want to commit one operator to it. So they're working around that logistics of having that person operate it and keep it running to their satisfaction, I guess. So it's ready to go to them at any time.
Okay, any
Thank you.
follow-up questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, no problem. We're going to move on then to department reviews, also Councillor Coyne.
Through you, Your Worship. So tonight I sit here and I ask council to consider that yearly at a minimum and within the next 6 months for the first review to be done for all our departments and also us to do the review on Terry. I've never been involved with an organization where in 2 years there's been no reviews done. So I asked council to consider making a motion tonight to have the first review done by July 1st and then annually after that.
Okay, so what is the wishes of council? I guess we'll need that, that's a motion. So we'll need that motion seconded so we can have discussion.
I'll second it, Your Worship.
Okay, over to you, Deputy Mayor.
I'm just wanting to, I guess we can make motions in this for both. This is a joint, it's not just committee of the whole, correct?
It is,
That's right.
yeah,
So we can make, okay.
yeah, absolutely. So it's a public
I
meeting
thought we
first.
might have changed into another
No.
meeting here.
It's
Okay.
a public meeting first and committee of the whole is just folded into it.
Just speaking on the motion, I mean, I think it's only right to do that in general. I mean, if Terry does it for the staff or whoever, and we do it for Terry, I mean, they do it at my workplace, and I'm sure they do it at other people's workplace over the years.
Mhm.
I think it's only, I don't think we're trying to throw darts at anybody. No, I think it's just
Yeah, it's just
be
a
transparent
natural
and, yeah, exactly.
workplace activity.
Exactly.
Okay, any other discussion?
No, agreed.
So, Your Worship, I agree with it. Actually, there has been some discussion about this previously.
Yes.
But so I appreciate Councillor Coyne bringing it forward. I don't know if it's absolutely necessary to do a semi-annual review. I think an annual review could be done. I think that's what occurs in most workplaces.
Which is what the motion is. The
Oh,
motion
sorry,
is,
I thought it was 6
the motion
months.
is for 6 months from now for the first one. And then
Just to
be done.
prepare for the first annual review.
Within 6 months, one's gonna be done. Then that makes,
That's just to
After that,
prepare
it's
for
It's
it.
annually.
the annual, okay, sorry.
No
Yeah,
problem.
appreciate. Yep, that's fine.
Okay, perfect, okay. I guess in order, well, just for council consideration, I guess we will have something to do as a council to determine what model we'd like to use to, for a CAO review. So, perhaps just reaching out to other councils who might have a review model that they use, just, for ease of use. And I guess it would be up to Terry, for whatever models he would like to use for staff.
Yeah, certainly.
Okay, I just wanted to throw that in there in terms of the practicality around the actual application of those reviews.
And again, to make this clear, this is not a witch hunt for anybody. It's just, I think in an organization such as us, this should happen on a regular basis.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, if you're prepared, you can call the question.
Question?
Question has been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Okay, approved. Any other items on that agenda item?
for you, viewers.
Sure.
Sorry for. I'd just like to bring something up. I should have brought it under other business, but I'd just like to bring it up later, just 2 seconds later. If I can do it now or later, maybe at the end of the meeting.
Okay, so
It's
what
just
is
information,
the,
it's just information on our meeting that we had in Toronto.
on
nothing.
the Robert's Rules of Order?
Yeah.
Okay, if we add that under additions, we just need unanimous support from council.
Sure.
Is everybody
Thank
okay with that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll add that under additions.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just a motion, please, for that addition, if you don't mind, since it's outside of
So
our.
moved.
Okay, do we have a
Second.
seconder? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Reminded? Okay, so we'll add that under additions. Robert's Rules of Order update. All right, so we'll move on now to the housing open house session. So over to you, Terry, for a little update on that item.
We originally added this to remind folks to come to the open house because our before then, so that our last meeting was deferred. Good representation. We had good representation from council at both sessions. I think we learned a lot. We had small crowds, but we did learn a lot from the open house. It was facilitated extremely well, and lots of, like I mentioned, lots of great input on that. We've been asked for some time to put some time available to go to council directly and to look at issues that directly affect council and the measures that council can take to advocate for and to increase the attractiveness of housing. What can we do to improve the housing situation in Port Hawkesbury? So anyway, we're hoping we'll be going out to councillors in early new year so that New Dawn can come in and facilitate a session with us, the same as they've done with the public. And that data collection continues, and we're going to finish with that, and then we'll see report writing through this winter, and a final report at the end of March. So that's the schedule for that. Anyway, good open houses, and well, good information, and more to come on that.
Thank you, Terry. Did council want to comment on the open house? I know we all had the opportunity to attend one of the sessions.
It was very good, very informative.
Great information too coming
Yes.
out of New Dawn in terms of review. So we'll move on then. The Federal Active Transportation Fund, Terry.
I'd ask Aaron brought this forward as a requirement for this grant. So I'd like to hand it over to Aaron to address.
Hi, Aaron.
Thank you. Through your worship. So this was discussed at one of our more recent meetings around the federal active transportation application that we put in, which we were successful in. It's a $494,000 project, which includes sidewalk and development of active transportation in the town of Port Hawkesbury. Part of the requirements of signing that application are to have a specific designate who has the authority to enter into that contract. So this is was a budgeted expenditure. It was included in our capital plan. And so we do need a motion to designate CAO to be able to sign that contract and enter into that contract with Infrastructure Canada. So the motion would be that the town of Port Hawkesbury authorizes their chief administrative officer to execute the Canada Active Transportation Fund agreement on behalf of the town of Port Hawkesbury. And again, that's a close to $500,000 project with almost $300,000 coming from the federal government.
Thanks, Aaron. What is the wishes of council?
Motion moved.
Okay, moved. Do we have a seconder?
Seconded, Your Worship.
Okay, seconded by the deputy mayor. Any discussion on the motion, or if you're prepared, you can call a question.
Your worship, just through your worship to Aaron. Aaron, if you might just make any comment about what locations we're looking at in terms of this project.
Yeah, so this was the Old Sydney Road, Pinecrest for sidewalk, and then the planning for active transportation linkage in Tamarack.
Great, thank you, Aaron.
Okay, any other questions or discussion, or you can call the question if you are ready.
Question?
Okay, the question has been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Contrary minded? Okay, the motion is approved. Thank you, Aaron.
And there's just one other item with regard to that, and I probably should have announced them together, but just with the capital plan that we approved, we had approved our contribution towards this project to be funded through the gas tax fund, similar to all of our paving and sidewalk work that we did this year. In reviewing the requirements of this fund, gas tax can't be used, so you can't stack additional federal dollars. So looking to reallocate the contribution from our operating reserve, which is a healthy reserve, as opposed to the gas tax fund. So it's still coming from reserve. It's just being asking for permission to take it from the operating reserve as opposed to the gas tax. And the motion would be that the town of Port Hawkesbury allows a reallocation within the previously approved capital plan of $197,800 of funding to come from the operating reserve instead of the gas tax fund for paving and sidewalks.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. What is the wishes of council?
Moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion, or if you're prepared, you can call a question.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Okay, the motion is approved. Is there any other items for that, Aaron?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Our last other business agenda item is the the Straight Richmond Hockey minor hockey tournament funding request. It was included in our agenda packages. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, so you have the information in your agenda packages. I won't go through all of that. We have a request for $2,000 to support what was previously referred to as the Store Tournament, but the Straight Richmond Minor Hockey Association Tournament sponsorship. So we have requested, pardon me?
That's a store.
It's a Store Tournament.
Yeah.
We have requested, so I think we're referring to it as the Straight Minor Hockey Association, but it is the store. It's commonly referred to as the Store Tournament. It's delivered differently than we were used to. And a number of years ago with the March break type of thing, that kind of changed through COVID. So it's spread out over even starting in December and running right through into March now, with different levels being hosting their tournaments on different weekends. So they're asking for $2,000. We've asked them to present a budget to us, and we've asked them to present and give us their financial statements like we do with all requests. We've asked them that the request be sent from a member of the executive, so sent from the treasurer, so they've complied with all of that. We've also asked them if there's a similar type of donation from Richmond County, and they indicated that there was. So.
Okay, what's the wishes of council in this request?
I do have
Any
one
questions?
question.
Sure.
I know that just this week, one division has been canceled from the December tournament, which will lessen their cost. I just wonder, if there's more divisions canceling, do they still need the $2,000?
Right. Well, if council would like to reconsider this again, January 17th, maybe we'll know a little bit more information then. It's up to council, whatever you prefer.
I agree.
If you want to defer it, or if you want to approve it this evening.
I think traditionally or historically, we always gave the 2,000 anyway.
Not really.
No?
We just started that.
It was 1,000 my first year.
Yeah, and before that, it was, Jim
Yes.
Pike used to put it on, and it was nothing like, no council involvement. Done by Stora, then DuPage, Stora Felmate, it was transferred. Scholastic Paper put money in this year, do we know?
Did they?
They used to buy out.
I believe so. I'm certain they did.
Okay.
So maybe we should.
So if council wants to add this also to our January 17th meeting, we can.
Every year.
We did. But the first year.
Or if you want to deal with it tonight, we can also do that.
Your worship, Michelle is trying to speak.
Hi, Michelle, go ahead.
Hi, through you, your worship. I do have a little bit of additional information on that, just because I do volunteer on the planning committee for the tournament. And if you have a peek at the budget, it is based on a minimum number of teams, so we may get fewer, we may get a little more. It's a bit of a static number, and of course we might have some teams cancel, but I think the format of the tournament, we decided to go with that format over multiple weekends because of the lack of accommodations and things. So we're pretty confident that we'll at least get the minimum number of teams, but if we don't, then that affects our overall budget as well. So just wanted to add that in for your consideration.
Thank you for providing that additional context, Michelle. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay. So what would council like to do with this item?
I'd make a motion that we contribute $2,000 toward the tournament.
Okay. So we have a motion that has been moved. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second.
Okay. So we have a motion for consideration by council. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Question.
Okay. Question has been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Okay, the motion is approved, and I guess Terry or Michelle, you can communicate with the Strait Richmond Minor Hockey Association to let them know. So we do have one approved addition, so over to our Deputy Mayor.
Yes, Your Worship, thank you, through you, and just an update on our Robert's Rules of Order meeting in Truro. I strongly suggest that we, as a council, look into how meetings are run. To make a long story short, we did about 3 or 4 things wrong in this meeting tonight that we were told not to do. One of the things, for example, you can't call a question. You don't know how to call a question. And anybody that discusses it definitely cannot. The mayor or the chair, whoever the chair is, when she figures or he figures that there's enough discussion, she asks for and little things like that. And who can discuss and when you can discuss and how many times you can discuss and virtual meetings. And there's a lot of stuff that I think we should sit down as a council and look at, because if we go to other meetings and there, you're probably being on committees yourself now with the UNSM, being the president of it, can see this stuff also, probably.
Yeah, sometimes their meetings are run differently depending on the organization or.
Well, in general, if we're going by Robert's Rules of Order, as a council, we run, you can run Bruno's Rules of Order also, but I think Town of Port Hawkesbury runs Robert's Rules of Order.
Yeah, so maybe for council's benefit, you can pass on the information that you and Councilor McCrory garnered from your course and for council's consideration.
Good.
And feel free to add the item at our next meeting in January so we can consider how we would like to amend the way we run meetings currently to improve upon it. Any other questions for the Deputy Mayor? Okay. So our future meetings. We have our next meeting, January 17th, and then followed by our public meeting of council for February 7th. And public question period. So at this point, I would ask if there are any questions pertaining to any of our agenda items here this evening. Okay, hearing none, I would ask for a motion of adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry
Happy holidays.
Christmas. All right, Jake, do you need me for questions?
No, I should be all right.
Okay, okie dokie. You know how to get a hold of me for later.
Sure,
if you need me.
Thank you for offering. Happy holidays, everybody.
Same to you.
See you, Jake.
Thank you. Bye.
Any other media that's on the week requires me for questions? Hi.
Hey there, so yeah, I'm not virtual, but I do have a few questions. Brenda, right? Good. So I'm wondering if I could ask you a few questions from there.
Sure.